Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Maincast's Winter Brawl final day. We have the game 2 of FlyToMoon versus Nemiga coming up, and honestly that game 1 was a stomp. I have a guy somewhere around here that was supposed to be casting with me. What do you think about that game, Pigeon?
I think that was a mess in
A
a lot
mess?
of ways for Nemiga. Yeah,
That
it
was a
the outpick
perfect
the
mess.
question mark.
That was a perfect mess for FlyToMoon though, right?
Yeah, that was so. What that was, right, is like when you just see one of those amazing cakes, right, and you just get that overwhelming need to just stick your face in it and eat it. That was Iceberg. He was just gouging on the mess that was Nemiga's cake.
I'm gonna admit something. For the last 3-4 years, I've been completely operated off of that. I was able to really reject the cakes, but right now I feel it.
Check the cake.
I was rejecting the cakes, but I feel you right now. It's difficult.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas just happened. Some people would have indulged themselves there.
I saw
It's
your
like-
Instagram stories. I saw what you were eating.
You know what? I'm still losing weight, weirdly enough.
That's cool. That's cool. That's good.
Good.
I was
but you
also.
know who's not lost weight?
I-
Brewmaster.
I-
Come on, guy.
Look, we can go back to the draft, or we can talk about Blitz
Nah,
and his.
I wanna hear
or
his
we-
story. I wanna hear
Or
his
we
story.
can
I was
talk
trying
about
to-
Blitz and his gains. I also saw his Twitter, and his gains. He was
Oh.
post. You know what I love when someone posts, like he literally did the 2009 Facebook girl, in which she, like a girl posts her picture and then underneath she writes like, "I'm so ugly," and then, like, please tell me I'm beautiful. Blitz was like, he posted this picture in which his triceps looks mad as hell. He's swole, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so fat." No, in the info.
It's like someone tell me that I'm beautiful. Come on, like look at my hair and my muscles and my glasses. It's all good. No,
No,
no.
I love Blitz.
He already has enough people. Yeah, I love him too. He already has enough people admiring him. Okay, we didn't need. You joined in actually.
Nah,
Very cool.
nah.
Okay.
Nah, I love Blitz. He's awesome. And he's not nearly as chubby as Brewmaster. He's not chubby at all, but Brewmaster and Spirit Breaker.
Not nearly as chubby.
But you were talking about these two. These two definitely are. We have the Spirit Breaker. We have actually, what the hell? We have a Spirit Breaker. How do you feel about that?
It's not bad. There's no disruptor to ruin your initiation because you picked it yourself, but you have a Spirit Breaker.
Yeah, definitely interesting.
And
A hero that has been broken, like a few months after he has been patched. You remember that patch in which Bulldoze was added and all that stuff? He was so strong, but then
the
they
patch of
nerfed him.
stats resistance, right?
Yeah.
Like it was all the changes came at once with Bane, Rubik as well.
Yeah, you go 2 bracers on Spirit Breaker and you're invincible. You max out Bulldoze and no one could kill you. He was definitely very difficult to deal with. It's not the same beast anymore, but I believe he's still strong enough. And also, I love the Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger and Disruptor is a really strong lane too, because you get those mini slows from Disruptor. You get vision from him, from Thunderstrike, and then you have Drow Ranger to just hit from far off somewhere behind the trees. So it is a decent pickup for FlyToMoon, but what I like about Nemiga's draft so far is the fact that they can lane this almost any way they want to, and they can finish off their draft with 2 cores that can get on top of Drow Ranger. And that might come in handy, because you need to deal with this hero. It's not the Drow Ranger of, like, that she used to be a long time ago. This hero right now just carries games hard if you don't contest her.
No, it's true. Drow has been at the center of a lot of these ridiculous drafts, right? Like Dragon Knight was a good experiment. Viper, which we won't see this game as it got banned in the first phase. SF, I love seeing SF with the Drow combo. I think they really work well together because it just gives you that ramp up, that kind of catalyst that allows SF to be on your high ground at 20 minutes, destroying your base.
Viper is also an idea, but he's been banned out, right? So we won't see that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's going to get banned every time. I think if Viper doesn't get banned, it's more or less a free win for the other team.
And Dragonite versus Lark, that's also maybe not.
Yeah,
the
that was
best.
weak now. You don't want that now. SF is still good, though.
SF, perhaps that Invoker as well. There's a lot of people that think that that Invoker is trash. I've heard Thompson talk about that Invoker is just bad right now. But, you know, if he says it, maybe it is, maybe he's just hiding his strategies or something. But, yeah, there's definitely combos that you can build around Drow Ranger. We'll see what they go for. There's OD as well for Iceberg. He loves that hero. That's also an option.
I mean, I'm trying to think what he's been playing the most and what fits. Like Wind Ranger. Wind Ranger is an interesting one with Drow, right? Because it makes you less of a one-hit kill type hero, if that makes sense. Because you have all that attack speed, so you can kill other people.
It's not a hero you want versus Shadow Demon usually.
No.
Like it's an option.
Screwed by the purge.
Yeah, the OD I believe would have been much better. Yeah, you get screwed by the purge. Maybe he thinks he can play it versus SD, but I wouldn't pick it. I'd pick even that Storm from the last game before I'd pick a Wind Ranger in this game.
Yeah. But they'll probably try and counter the lane. I feel like they have a little bit of flexibility to just focus on winning the mid lane through pick at this stage.
I think it's important as well to win that mid lane when you have Drow Ranger already picked on your lineup. It's important that you counterpick their mid, so that you have this fat beast after 10-minute mark that can protect your jungle while Drow Ranger gets the farm that she needs. As this hero is pretty much AFK farming after the laning stage.
So question is, like, what does Nemiga want to staple to get with? Because they've got this aggressive potential. This should be tiny mid at this stage. So probably the offlaner. I know CI's teams have moved away from playing Shadow Demon in the offlane and they go for the Mars. That's a means to get on top of the Drow. It's pretty good. And honestly, FlyToMoon don't have any saves right now.
It's also that arena, right? Works super well against projectiles, and Drow Ranger can't hit you inside. It's also a good pick-off potential if you get that blink on him to catch that Drow Ranger. I like Mars. I haven't seen him a lot lately, but I like the pickup. Might work for Nemiga. The chosen one is definitely, I mean, he's drafting and he's also their offlaner, so.
Exactly. So like, this is the second time round he's kind of been the pivotal pick, right? Last game he picked that Clockwork very early. This time he's left himself to the end.
There was some flame. I'm telling you, Pigeon, right now. He was like, Fervin, you little give me my draft. I'm about to draft now. I believe Fervin was drafting that first game too, right?
Maybe I was. I don't think so. I think it was Chosen One. Because I know he was drafting the other day as well.
All right. Then he was like, Chosen One, you little shit. Stop drafting so bad.
Stop taking my crap, dude. Come on. Like, let me have the final pick, guys. I'll carry the game. And everyone's like, I don't know. Chosen One, that last game was pretty bad.
He gets himself this Mars. I think it's a hero that he's definitely going to be able to contribute with, at least. In that last game, he couldn't contribute with the... Oh, shit.
Screw that. He's not contributing at all. You're wrong. It's never happening. They pick Iceberg Silencer.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be your mid silencer, right? That's what's happening.
That destroys Tiny, right? Because of the because of the pure damage. Even when you get 6, you don't feel protected as a Tiny anymore.
As long as you don't get jumped on very often, and as long as you itemize properly as silencer in this game, perhaps a 4-staff early on to get away from the leash. I believe this is a good game for Iceberg Silencer. And you know what? Actually, FlyToMoon was picking this silencer before quite often, and this silencer was being banned by teams that played versus FlyToMoon, so they know what they're doing with the silencer pick.
No, absolutely. Iceberg is one of his signature heroes at this point, I think it'd be fair to say. And with the Drow Ranger and all these small mana pools, because obviously they changed silencer now, right? You are basically old OD.
The only thing that I kind of dislike about that silencer is that you have these 2 glass cannon cores, right? You have the Drown Ranger, and then you have the silencer, and there's a Slark. Like, if you mess up that global silence, he can get on top of you, and if he does, you're dead. They have to punish the Slark as hard as possible. And also, you're playing versus the Mars, right? And we talked about these projectiles that can't pierce the arena. Now there's another hero that's purely based around his projectiles, so... I believe there's definitely a chance for Nemiga to take this game. Their draft doesn't look as bad for me as that first draft. I would even say that this is 50-50 just by drafts, but you still have to outplay them, and that's where the problem lies, I believe.
Exactly. And I think the thing to look at here is for Nemiga, it's going to be crucial to get those BKB timings on Slark and on Mars because if you don't have both of those, like I feel that's going to be the one, right? You aim for that double power spike because if you don't have both of those, you're talking about Global Silence, you're talking about Gust, you're talking about Disruptor with the Static Storms as well. Disruptor, who has been considered one of the better heroes against Mars, as you just jump in and suddenly you're silenced.
Yeah, suddenly you have this perfect arena for your Disruptor's ulti to cast in, right? It's
Yeah.
like,
Imagine if you couldn't leave your own arena. Like it's just a free kinetic field at that point. Luckily, you can, but you never want to.
or he can glimpse
That's
you
just an
out as
oil
well.
loss.
He can glimpse you out too,
Exactly.
right? So, yeah, there are definitely ups and downs for this Mars pick. I personally do like it. I see the potential. I see that the chosen one can finally do it with the Mars. He couldn't do it with his Clockwork. It was a very difficult clock game. But let's jump straight into the game and see if maybe this is the game in which chosen one will take over.
The pressure is on him. He's the one who was doing the drafting. He's the one that took the final pick. He's going to have to. I feel like Tiny, it's going to be your typical Tiny experience. I don't expect him to be that active, just more farming focused and pushing focused.
Yeah, and by the way, we talked about this draft, and now suddenly the GGBet odds represent that perfectly. Well, not perfectly, but FlyToMoon right now is on 1.55, Nemiga on 2.35, so it's more even than before at least.
Well, that's fair. I mean, FlyToMoon is always going to be the favored ones, right? Like these are the proven names. These are one of the favorites in the tournament. Nemiga, while they caused the OG seed upset, people will, once again, I can't stress enough, it is the best of one. You can go either way. This is where Nemiga proved themselves. And so far for this tournament, they have proven themselves dominant. But FlyToMoon finally the wall that they run into.
I remember some games in which Astral was dominating with his Shadow Demon as well. He has 4 mangoes on himself right now, going straight into the outpost for the bounty rune, but this being damaged quite hard early.
Oh, nice spear out from Chosen One. Might keep him alive, but Astral is still slowed. They need 2 more hits and they can't get it.
This is what I was talking about, Disruptor plus Drow Ranger. Why is it strong in the lane? Whenever you see your, I don't know, whenever you see your carry pick that Drow Ranger, you can go for Disruptor in order to give her that vision so that she can hit. However, at the same time, the problem with that lane is that you're both squishy and standing far away, right? So if they get on top of you, you can find yourself in a lot of problems. But if you find yourself on top of Spirit Breaker, suddenly that's not really a problem. Spirit Breaker can protect that Drow Ranger quite a lot, quite well, and that's why they lane like that.
Yeah. And having the combo Brewmaster and Disrupt's pretty good because you have a lot of rundown, a lot of slows against the Slark, and even if your levels Dark Pact early on, he doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not the greatest fan of this position for Disruptor. I think Spirit Breaker is probably better, but on this lane, another reason why Disruptor is better is because you're up against Slark, and you'd much rather hit him from distance so that he cannot get those stacks off, right? Spirit Breaker isn't as good there.
Yeah, it's also easy to disengage, whereas if you're 2 melees against a Dazzle with the Poison Touch, you just grab an Uv or Nephra, and there's no escape. Yeah. Interesting that Astral also did start with the Shadow Poison. Usually you see the Disruption, but they don't feel like they have kill potential. Instead, they'll be the ones trying to kill off Chosen One. As the spam comes out, first blood gets drawn, now he needs to dodge the poison. But there's the Disruption out.
I think this is a
kill.
He
needs the 4th charge.
Yeah, this is a kill.
No, he might die for this. He's going to die. Oh, he'll get the kill, but he will go down afterwards. Or will he? Always want to fly?
There's a charge.
He's one more hit.
But he's joking.
Yeah, but the South.
Yeah, it's hard to charge.
Stay alive.
Always want to fly might die here, actually. He has a charge.
On him. He has got the South, but they can't get enough poison. He'll walk away and heal up.
Astral, like, he definitely plays this Shadow Demon really well. I've seen him on this hero before, and he managed to dominate a couple of games, so I'm looking forward. I actually enjoy watching Shadow Demon on 4 so much. I love to see a good Shadow Demon player. Also, there's some combos here and there with that Shadow Demon in this game. You have the Dazzle Bomb with the Disruption, so there are definitely ways to make this Shadow Demon really strong.
Yeah, it's also entertained, right? Like, you think about these type of heroes that have saves, but also can actually be really aggressive and painful to deal with, right? And Shadow Demon and Wyvern always ahead. Like, you look at Oracles, and while Oracles can make fantastic plays, you walk in a fight, press False Promise, and that's your saving done.
Yeah, early on in the game, you're pretty strong with Purifying Flames and Purge, but that's about it. Later on, you fall off definitely as Oracle. Not the same
Or
case
Shadow
with,
Demon.
Yeah, not the same case with Shadow Demon. Yeah, he's always strong. Later on in the game, Soul Catcher is just amazing. Early on in the game, you have Poison, and Disruption is great at any given point for save or initiation. So,
You remember what I used to call it, right, Liz? Uh-oh.
there we go.
They're coming in. And V2 in a lot of trouble as that's the level 2 Shadow Poison. He's just dead.
Yeah, always wanna fly has to be careful too. Does he have charge? He does, but that's not where you wanna
What
charge.
does that do, though?
Always wanna die.
Hey, you know, it's his evil twin brother. They've switched places for game 2.
Yeah, they switch places every game pretty much, I think. But he gives a lot of...
Consistency's overrated.
He gives a lot of info to his teammates. You know, that charge, what it did, you can't even comprehend. It was next level charge. It was,
you know what that done? That made the betting more interesting in this game, Liz. That's what that done.
There you go.
Figured it out. He's just trying to make sure you, the spectators, have a better time.
General, he gets the poison touch on him.
And it looks like General's just dead. Player left the lane, pays the price. And he's only level 2 as well, so they're losing on XP and now on kills in the spot lane.
And now they're gonna pull this too. They pulled after farming the creep wave, so Panda isn't even gonna get all the experience there. So far, so good for them on that lane. Slark sitting on 21 CS, same as Drow.
Yep, and then the mid lane, it's pretty close. There's a slight advantage for Iceberg, but he needs to be ahead in this type of lane. He should be as well. I mean, you are a ranged hero against the Tiny with pure damage.
It's ranged hero against Tiny, but it's difficult to zone Tiny. First, it's Tiny, and second, it's hard to deny creeps versus him too, right? As he has that pesky little tree, he hits the creep when it's on 50% HP, and he still gets the kill, you know, so...
Yeah.
It's easy.
But at the same time, you're able to increase your damage through harassment, right? That's the good value, because Glaives now steal the int temporarily.
Slayer.
I think this is... Oh, is he being an interesting fellow again? He's just waddling around looking for chorus as usual.
Yeah, he was
the thing I was going to say is, I think this might be kind of the pivot point for the lane for Tiny, because now you get 2 points of int stolen per hit with the Glaives for Iceberg. So he should be able to escalate much quicker when Mellow's on lane. It looks like Mellow's dodging the lane.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, if you're Tiny, you can just be in the jungle, and you don't really care. And the thing about Silencer is, if this Tiny gets a blink fast, if he plays it that way, he can just dominate the Silencer throughout the game.
Astral making weird life decisions. Won't have to worry about life for long, as they're going to trap him in and kill him off. He walked up to the tower and disrupted V2.
He had 4 stacks on him. If he got 1 more stack, plus the spear from Mars, V2 could have died, so that's pretty much why he was playing on the edge there. That's why he died.
Yeah, it's just the way she was sitting, right? Like, I'm sitting there, okay, if you have a tree, you can, like, stab
Iceberg rotating top, and the charge is there.
Chosen One just being bashed up, and no follow-up bash. However, the wraparound is there, and Iceberg will start sound Astral. Disruption has been used. They've got the spear just to push him away, though. He says, okay, I'll return to my lane. Yeah, good day to you, folks.
Yeah, he came by to say hi. Goes back to the lane, and Mellow Jewel instantly is like, nope, I'm done. Back to the jungle, boys. General, however, he's suffering a little bit here. Level 4, he does have decent net worth, but...
He has decent deaths as well, you know?
He's died a couple of times. Already? Yeah, Nefrit's got those tags for himself.
However, Chosen One, he's going to get his second death as well. I like that they're sacking this Brewmaster. I just feel like this is what happens so often with Brews. They don't have relevance. And if you double down on that to try and fix their lane, it doesn't change anything in the grand scheme of the game.
So why even pick him?
That's the better point. That's the better point, right?
Like, honestly, I see so many other offlaners that are better suited for this patch right now, but so many teams just like the Brew. I mean, Brew has been buffed up, let's be honest. Brew is pretty strong at the moment, but it's like Tiny in the first days after the patch, right? People realized that he's broken, but they couldn't really optimize it. They couldn't really utilize that brokenness. They were losing with Tiny all the time. And then when they finally realized the proper item build, no one could defeat Tiny, and a nerf had to happen. Brew
Exactly.
Master,
I think the bigger issue is Brew. It feels like loads of people are trying to play around the Cinder Brew, right? So they choose like a super aggressive forward that can get the second instance of damage.
yeah, but that is what was buffed, right? That is the reason. I can understand on that
But
completely.
it still doesn't feel that strong because you now all these heroes have their own couriers. So it's like, okay, now I'll just bring out more regen and I've countered your strategy because you're not killing me with that combo.
Charge, top lane.
They're looking to kill him. Chosen one will pin him. Lives back though because they kept the vision into the kinetic field. And
So
B2,
tanky.
he can't get the marksmanship. He's too close. Global silence out to ensure the kills, and the wraparound is there. Iceberg just running away though, as Melo does mirror his movement across
He
the
might just
map. And
die.
the poison might stack up. Toss forward, and he is just gone. Turns around and fights. Doesn't have a choice. There is a double kill for B2, and now B2 can just clean up on the Melo as well. As they're the kinetic field, the bashes and the slows. Tiny has no escape plan.
Yeah, pretty good for FlyToMoon. They do lose Iceberg in that exchange, but what, they took down like 4 heroes in the end? That's awesome for them. That's amazing. They're super happy with that. Iceberg, I believe he got some intelligence during that whole engagement too. So if you're a silencer, sometimes if you rotate and you die, as long as you get in, you're happy. +2, easy.
Yeah, he was close, but it looked like he was just out of range because V2 sniped to kill at the backline as he died.
What
So
about
that toss got him out of range?
What about the Dazzle?
Unfortunate, but still a lot. The Dazzle.
He died first, right?
He didn't lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Iceberg was out of range on that one as well. It's showing he has no permanent int gained.
Oh, all right.
I thought he was in on that one too.
It still works the same way though, right? I'm not mistaken about that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it hasn't changed like that. Arena, chosen one. This wasn't the way he wanted to use it. Gets close to B2 in the shallow grave, though. That'll allow him to turn around. Nefer with the rotation, gets the kill into Drow, and FlyToMoon. A little bit of trouble. Always want to fly, trying to get away. 2 stacks of shadow poison on him, though.
Oh, this
And the
is...
third one will get the kill. Oh, no, it doesn't. Raindrop saves the day.
He's just very tanky as well. Level 5 Bara with the raindrops, obviously. Lives, but they will capture the top shrine because of that. Top outpost, sorry.
It's
And
okay. I call it shrine too because it's worship, you know.
Slark is online
technically
though.
worship.
Well, he can't really join every single fight right now, but that's a really good fight that he did join, and instantly he gets a kill.
Yep, he has more permanent agi gain than Silencer has permanent stolen right now.
Slayer trying to
And then
dodge
Bill
that
will
spear.
protect him.
Yeah. There is a charge.
He's actually hanging around. Yeah, they're coming out. Meanwhile, Dazzle will go down the bot lane as V2 rotates, and him in general should be able to take the tower. The Slayer, he's baiting them. He has got the Static Storm, but they're going to have... No, they won't have the Spear in time. Static Storm goes down. He will still die, but he didn't use the kinetic field. It's still on cooldown.
Always want to fly. Also doesn't have that ulti to work with, so chosen one.
Split comes out the purge, though. Global Science maybe a little bit too late. Iceberg has to stand and fight. The Science will renew into Slark. It's going to be a Cyclone coming out. He will purge it off extremely low. The charge forward means he can't even heal up. The Shadow Dance is coming off cooldown. And yep, he'll get it off just in time. We'll try and TP away. It looks like he'll be successful as well. But Astral, will he get out? No, you will not. Never Strike is there. Iceberg finally able to get some in.
Finally, Iceberg gets that +2. That's pretty good for him, but Slark survives, which is more important for Nemiga. And also they take down tier 1 mid during that whole process, so they're not too sad about how things went. One good thing for FlyToMoon is the fact that Drow Ranger took down that tier 1 on the bottom lane, so they're doing things across the map, and I think it's important that this Drow Ranger continues dodging Slark until she gets the Force Staff. Once you have the spike on Drow Ranger, or at least the Force Staff, you're able to join the fights again. I think Force Staffs are super important this game for FlyToMoon. On Silencer, on Drow Ranger too.
No, I definitely agree, and the thing is that that's what unlocks their full potential. You want to be able to have this Drow and this Silencer together, because that's when you get the machine gunning Silencer with all that attack speed.
Yeah, but what about Slark? So far he's been doing exceptionally well. In the laning stage he's done well. After the laning stage as well, his rotations have brought him nothing but kills. So he's done pretty well for himself, and he's the one that's supposed to carry Nemiga versus the Drow Ranger pick.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's just gone.
That split shot doesn't care about your shield. So strong.
Yeah, Moi shot is just... I'm expecting that to get nerfed. The slow duration, especially being 4 seconds, is pretty nutty. But no, you're right. The Slark is doing really well. He's almost got the diffusal now. I love the fact that he's just going to get aggressive early on, as we see a lot of Slarks think about like Ags. I think he needs a BKB in this game.
I mean, I like Ags too. BKB is great, but Agonist is an amazing pickup for Slark. You get that tag, suddenly you have a long range initiation, you have 3 stacks on your pounds. It's pretty damn neat. BKB as well is awesome, especially versus the Silencer with Global Silence, and Atos now picked up.
In Global Silence, they see him. Atos to lock him in. Static Storm is down. I'm not even sure Spirit Breaker makes it in time. However, the disruption to save the day. Astral turns around the Purge on the General as well. Shadow Dance to get him out. The TP, he aborts. He realizes it's a little bit too late. And now the glimpse back vision is there, but the Never Strike mistimed a little bit. Nefrit will still go down. However, always want to fly. Is he in trouble? No, he isn't. The split comes out. Shadow Demon's been found. He's already used the Purge, so Astral will also die, and Iceberg gets some more permanent into his arsenal. Atos. And the charge. The escalation effect of the Spirit Breaker. Classic CIS Dota for a good reason.
Oh,
and
the
they get
bash.
back straight away on Mello for the triple kill in the hands of General.
Poor Mellow Joel. First hit bash and by the Spirit Breaker. Classic 17%. Nothing wrong about this game. Nothing wrong here, boys. Yeah. Overall,
I think,
it's very unfortunate, right? It's very unfortunate for Nemiga to lose their Slark the way they did, and also to give FlyToMoon this extra advantage, this extra snowballing effect that they will gain after that last team fight. Suddenly you should have the 4-staff, right, on Drow Ranger, or did he opt to go for Yasha afterwards? Is he just going for Yasha?
It's looking like it. He has got an item on the way out, so it must just be straight to the Yasha.
All right.
The interesting part in this type of game is how scary it is for Nemiga if all 5 of them together, right? Because we mentioned the Drow and the Silencer, but because General went for this Helmet Dominator, that's going to be the 20% base damage. But then you've got the Alpha Wolf as well, which is an extra 30% damage.
They have a really strong 5-man combo. If they run together and if they have that split, and the odds...
It's like hard based on right clicks as well.
Odds right now are representing that completely. FlyToMoon 1.25, Nemiga 3.7, so it completely shifted in FlyToMoon's favor after that somewhat evenish start. However, it's still anyone's game. I believe it's 1k ahead for FlyToMoon. If Nemiga just starts picking them off and starts making these plays around the Global Silence when it's off, because remember, you have huge cooldowns on FlyToMoon. You have Disruptor, you have Silencer, you have Panda. If you manage to play around that, you can definitely turn this game and get back into it. But you need to somehow create a strategy around this Slark and his items. But right now, he doesn't have what it takes. I believe Tiny just died that last fight without really contributing. Perhaps a Blink Dagger on him.
Yeah, he's actually just 20 gold off it right now after he's got the drums. He's holding on to the Pupil's Gift, which, I mean, it's good attack speed, so you farm quicker, but Slark would love that item right now.
Vitune, by the way, also finished the Pike, so we were right. He didn't go for Yasha or anything like that. Finishes off the Pike. No, you need to be able to have some mobility on this Drow Ranger. You need some mobility because you have no save on your side. You don't have a Shadow Demon or anything like that. You have a Disruptor and Spirit Breaker. They are purely aggressive supports, so some mobility on yourself is definitely needed. There's a double damage rune.
Oh, there's a charge across. The arena's gone down. They found General. He did have the split, so a big kill for them, and Always Want to Fly is just leaving right now.
At the same time, they just lost the tier 2 without a fight. They took down Panda, but they lost the tier 2. For what? There is a smoke.
And they used the arena.
Yeah. There is a smoke, though, but if it gets broken by Slayer... And look at him, man. He knows. He understands what's happening. Iceberg.
Here they come.
However,
jump in. He needs to get a Static Storm quickly, but Iceberg, he's getting too low. Global Silence come out, but he's already dead. And Slayer trying to retreat. It's too late. Holds on to the Static Storm. This is not worth it anymore. The tree, play fetch. Judging by Always Want to Fly, won't do anything. V2. V2's in trouble. 4 stuff away. Nefrit doesn't have the pounce anymore, though. Always Want to Fly. We'll use him to juke across. However, Melo moves in. The toss back comes out. The cleave forward of V2. He's just going to die. FlyToMoon just suddenly crumbling one by one, pinned in their own base. It's going to be a team wipe.
What was this fight? What was happening? Global Silence when he's 1 HP for absolutely nothing. He's most certainly dead. Slark jumps in on the Drow Ranger, who just ports there after she lost like 3 teammates. Grave on a Slark that has 100% HP. Yeah, it's a beautiful CIS mess right now. They're fail fishing left, right, and center, but I'm loving it. It's fun.
I mean, they had buyback on Silencer, so I can only imagine originally the play was like you global silence buyback and TP, but because they TP to the tier 2, it would have taken too long.
But they can crumble so hard. Right now, if you're looking at FlyToMoon, if they make another mistake such as that one, their whole lineup can just fall apart. It's so easy for Slark and Tiny to just roll out of control when they get these mobility items. You have one on Tiny already, that's his blink. Now Slark needs something that even a BKB is good enough. But Slayer, oh, he should be fine.
No, we'll get away.
Yeah.
Always an awkward target to try and jump, and now they're charging top. This could backfire quickly though. Nefrit does have the Shadow Dance.
And he has outposts there too. Always want to.
Oh god, that damage. Yeah, always want Flash to die too quickly. Now, there it is, Shadow Dance, but he's stuck in the Static Storm. The backstab is out though. Disrupt's already down. Split's going to be there from General. They need to catch Nefrit quickly as he doesn't have the Shadow Dance, but the arena goes down on the V2 alone. Charge forward with the split control. Dazzle's going to actually be forcing to Shallow Grave on himself. Atos in the arena. V2 standing his ground. Chosen One needs to die first, but Drow's going to go down. Iceberg, can he carry this on his own? He needs to turn on an effort to deal with him right now, but the damage is coming in. Iceberg looking a little bit too squishy.
Damn,
Force up away, gets him the kill. He turns around. Mello brought down as well, and the chase is on. They see Astral. He tries for the TP, but just like his Slark before him, cancels it in the face of this cow.
Damn the damage from Iceberg. Actually, I haven't seen too many silencers after the recent change. And you can see just how much damage that hero amounts after hitting you for 30 seconds. As he was dealing with Chosen One, right? He was hitting him for a really long time, and then the Tiny as well. And suddenly Slark tries to play the game against the silencer. He tries to steal from him while silencer is hitting him, but silencer is so much stronger. Just destroyed him.
Yeah, for a moment, Iceberg was convinced that Slark was stronger, right? Like, he hesitated, and then he just realized, actually, oh, it's fine. I just hit you. The Drow has tanked so much of your attention that I'm free to do what I want in this fight.
So that's who we should be looking at. It's Iceberg that's going to be your prime damage dealer on the side of FlyToMoon. Even after the BKBs have been bought, if he gets that Agnims later.
Yeah, you can also global silence once the BKB'd, right? And that's the thing, they didn't use the global silence in the last fight. And that went pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, I believe that fight was victorious for them. They did lose the Drow Ranger, but overall the fight went well. But there was no BKB still on Slark. And the things will change a little bit once he gets that. As long as Nemiga utilizes that power spike, that is.
That's always the interesting part about Drow and the way it's played. It's like, it's a catalyst, right? It's not really the true POS 1. It's usually just this enabler. It's like a carry ogre magi. You just buff something up in your lineup.
There are some players that's got like, I don't know, rank 1 or at least top rank 10 EU by spamming Drow Ranger in the recent patches. So there is definitely potential to carry alone, but she does buff up incredibly well some of these heroes, such as Silencer.
That's not judgment. You know, some people get there playing Meepo a lot. And there's going to be some judgment for Astral, because he gets caught out so easily.
Yeah, those are the worst, by the way. Meepo spammers.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. If only.
Like, learn more heroes, you idiots.
Yeah, exactly. You know what's the best part? Like, you learn more heroes, you get back to almost the same ranks with other heroes.
And they remember you for it.
They remember you, and then they flame you for those heroes, and then you're that spammer. Throughout my career, I think I was spammer of different 20 heroes, like, in different patches.
Yeah, I can believe it. You seem like that kind of person. And most of them will involve building some sort of micro item or being micro itself.
Yeah, some are definitely, but like Insania flames me for Enchantress.
Enchantress?
Yes.
Yep.
He always, every single game, he flames me for Enchantress. Whenever I play.
I just know these things. As soon as you said it, I'm like, yep, that's Enchantress right there.
Whenever I played versus him, he would ban it first or something. You know, like some other teams it was Phoenix and some other people.
Phoenix was that one. Venno was a little bit for a time for you as well.
Arc Ward.
Oh god, yeah, you went for that phase.
I love when people were banning Arc Warden against me and I had like 40% win rate. I was garbage.
They're just doing you. That's a pity ban right there. They're just helping you out.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like those games we've seen, right, where a team loses with what they think is an OP pick, and then they ban it the next game. It's like they're like, okay, just so we don't pick it again, because we're really bad.
So
with
we
this
don't get
hero.
tempted. So we don't get tempted by it.
Exactly.
Also, you know what's worst? When you lose with a hero that you think is good, and then the enemy picks it and you lose against it. That crushes your morale.
Yeah, that's like, let me teach you, sir. Let me show you how this is done. You're like, oh no. They can bait you like that as well, right? I've seen teams where they'll treat that as if they're picking it the same way you did, and there'll be a support instead.
Is Nemiga
Is
is Nemiga baiting something around mid lane because they are smoked
They're
up
baiting
as
themselves
four?
right now.
Yeah. And
They're looking in the wrong place.
no one took that top bounty, by the way. They have vision on it and all that stuff, all that jazz, but they don't really care.
It doesn't mature anymore. Just go get the bounty. But good patience for FlyToMoon to identify something wasn't right. And all you get out of it in the end is a D-ward, an obvious ward that will be D-warded in response by FlyToMoon after they smoke.
FlyToMoon with the Wolf, with so much utility coming from Drow. This silencer is going to hit hard. You need to deal with him first. Perhaps use that arena to catch him. Chosen One so far has always went on Drow Ranger in these fights. Always selects her and puts the arena around her. Perhaps it's time to change that priority to Iceberg.
It's scary. They're both a big problem, man. You just take a little look at this. Iceberg doesn't actually initially do more damage than Drow. So it's like, you are right in that you need to jump Iceberg first, but Drow, in her own right, will take heroes with her left untended to.
Yeah, that's true. And she's pretty...
Feels like what you really... Oh, go ahead.
No, they're pretty damn farmed. All of them, right?
Yeah. That's the thing. I was just going to say, like, I think what they need is some situation in which Slark can chase maybe Drow, and then you can commit the arena for Iceberg, right? So you're addressing both issues, but it never feels good to do that. You want to be able to find one quick pick-off at the beginning of a fight.
What do you need for that? You need a BKB on Slark, right? You need a BKB and perhaps that Aghanim's or something that's going to allow him to get on top of her and stay on top of her, right? But by that time, you're probably going to be looking at a Hex from Silencer, and the game becomes more and more difficult.
Not to mention the BKB being queued up for V2. Once you have that online the Drow, the arena can never be used on her anyway. And the Slark can't really lock her down anymore. And Slayer is already heading towards an Axe. He already has the point booster. Still a few thousand gold to go, but once that's online...
A few thousand golds to go.
Few thousand golds, just jangling the bags.
Yeah,
him, all right?
Don't worry, guys. I got this. I just need the recipe and all the items.
I just need like 15 or 20 more minutes, guys, and I'll have it.
Just need the recipe and all the necessary items, and I got it. Just a minute or two. Don't worry about it.
It's like the people go, I almost have Shivas, and you just look at them, they got the recipe. It's like, all right, this is going to be a while.
Yeah, it's the poor man's sheaves, right? You buy just the recipe and you hope for the best. You hope for the couple of
You
kills.
commit, all right? You give yourself a dream for tomorrow, Liz. That's what you're doing.
And looks like we're going to continue.
It's like when there's NA teams that crop out of nowhere, buy themselves a team shirt because they hope that they'll still exist in like a month's time before the NA reshuffle occurs again.
I remember a team that, what was it, E-Hug? Something like that. The team that wanted to exist solely on help from the community. Like they would ask the community to draft for them and all this stuff. That was fun. I enjoyed laughing at them.
Then you had the Final Tribe. They done that whole buy-in thing for people.
Yeah, but it's different. The Final Tribe was at least a serious.
That was
team.
serious, yeah.
They were actually good players.
Oh, and things about to get serious. FlyToMoon, the smoke, trying to get in here, but it looks like Nemiga might be quick enough to disengage unless Slayer sees one of them.
Slayer, he's on the hunt. Chosen
Here he
One.
comes. Looking the wrong way. No, he's not going to catch it.
Maybe.
And now the smoke breaks. Comes back. He went fishing for it. And there's the Static Storm down. They need to wipe out Mars quickly. Disruption will buy some time, though. And Slark wastes his time on the disruptions already cast everything. Global Silence does come out. And they're all silenced up. They can't do anything right now. Mars is going to go down before he can use the arena. Nefrit with the BKB. But it looks like he needs to run away. He's down a half HP. Shadow Dance is going to come out. And they get the kill, not Iceberg. They separate from the fight. And now they're hunting on the B2 next. Glimpse to get one away. Kinetic Field is down. The Gust as well. They need to actually charge and control up the Slark. But Chosen One with his buyback, looking to use that arena, is hunting. I think close enough, though. They'll have to settle for maybe a kill on a Spirit Breaker, but he's got the Shadow Amulet.
He has
He's
charge
refusing
as well.
to come out.
He can charge bottom. He's fine.
Oh, no. He almost got away. The disruption clips him though. He doesn't get invis again in time.
Will they go into the pit with this? There's 20 seconds without silencer. They do have a lot of damage stacked up on effort too, and you see that's the problem of FlyToMoon's lineup. It looked good, but one buyback in a bad situation, in a bad area, Chosen One comes back into the fight, and it's not like he did a lot there. It was purely Slark and Tiny. Slark jumped on Drow, actually on Iceberg. Iceberg got out, he forced himself to the low ground, but Melojul was just ready and waiting. And then he started whamming at him, so they need this hex on Silencer. He was really close. They decided to fight when Silencer had like 2.1k gold in stash. Instead of waiting for, what, 700-800 more, let's finish that hex, start fighting, kill off the Slark instantly in the global silence. They go for this.
They were too invested, right? Like, I think the moment where you usually do a abort is when you don't get the kill, or the glimpse back rather, on the Mars before you leave your shrine. After that, it just felt desperate, like you were looking for anything you could glimpse.
They went too far, and there's a tier 1 on top. There's also the outpost on top, so even if you kill any single hero, there's a huge potential that they're gonna come back.
But
VTune,
VTune's in trouble. He can't force stuff away, and the creep kills him. Betrayed by his own minions.
Oh, I smell some tilt right here. There was no tier 2 on bottom lane. No reason to be that far out.
Well, Nemiga fixed that now. He'll find himself back in his fountain in 35 seconds, and pressure is just applied elsewhere. The tier 2 is almost fallen on the top lane, so FlyToMoon are starting to run out of towers quickly here.
Yeah, you can see that Spirit Breaker is going for a Glimmer. It's not really your usual item on Spirit Breaker, but they so desperately need some save. You have these two super squishy cores, and you have 0 saves to follow up with them.
And I think he just changed his mind as well.
Did he?
He's going Shadowblade.
All right. So
screw
you, cores.
Cape idea more.
Screw you, cores. I'm gonna be aggressive instead. I mean, what Shadowblade allows you to do is you can charge and then Shadowblade, and the charge is gonna connect 100%. But or he wants to carry. That's it. I'm gonna be the carry now, suckers.
Must be. He's purchased the Claymore. Doesn't even have his buyback, as he.
And he's going for BKB next, so he definitely wants to be hitting a lot.
I mean, someone has to front line for this team, because that's where FlyToMoon is suffering, right?
Yep.
Unless they get the split and they get control straight away, it doesn't work.
They need to run. Effort has a DD and Aegis. Slayer, he knows.
Field, but it makes it obvious. The pounce forward. No chance for a glimpse. He gets hit up by the Mindbreaker.
At least it's just the Disruptor that dies, right? So if you're FlyToMoon, that's the best hero that could have died. Perhaps Spirit Breaker you throw into the wolves a bit faster, but Disruptor is fine too. Disruptor, which is going for Aghanims actually. He had 2k gold saved up, so he's getting there. He's getting closer.
Yeah, this is the power of having that 4 Disruptors. He will find a little bit of gold and eventually. Oh,
Yoinked.
Wow.
Charge?
That's a big snipe. That was the complete Ags. And see you later, sucker.
Oh, he didn't get it actually. Yeah, and that's a 3-minute on the sideline for the courier. So it is a pretty big snipe.
Yeah, that means that you're probably not going to do anything with the rest of this Aegis. Nemiga just have to sit and chill, or they could finally kill an Iceberg, who has used every tool in his arsenal to try and escape, and it's too late.
Yeah.
All right, you said it was tilt for VTune. Now I'm starting to think that FlyToMoon really love this bot lane. Like, I don't mind the play because they realize the only towers outside their base in this bot area, so Nemiga want to push it in. But you're just making it more enticing for them to come bot by giving these kills up.
It opens up the map. There is a strategic reason behind these pushes around this tier 2 area on the bottom lane. It's not really that great of a play. I can't really justify it when you die with Silencer and Drow Ranger, but it does open the rest of the map up.
They're fine. Oh, Yule has his BKB and he'll use it. The arena comes down as well, and they're pinned against their own tower. Brewmaster down to half HP, holding on that split, and V2's BKB means that he can't be whittled away at. Chosen One stands his ground.
Is there a glimpse of Tiny? There should be.
They see it. Glimpse on cooldown for 8 seconds. Static Storm will be thrown down because they see TP rotations coming in and they need to retreat. Looks like that'll be all that is killed on either side as everyone backs up in the end.
They could have saved that glimpse for someone that was coming out of the outpost, right? And then perhaps fought around it. But Slark has that BKB, and if you use it on him, he probably BKBs and continues fighting. So it was risky, and it's a good thing that they moved back. They forced the BKB from Chosen One, and they won that fight. But it was difficult for them. Disruptor should have that Aglim's completed though after that fight very soon.
Yeah, and this is a big power spike. The fact they had the BKB now in the Drow makes it almost impossible for Mars to do what he just tried to do as well.
You know what, like usually I say that Aghanims on Disruptor is game winning. It just completely changes the game, the way the game is played, and even from a position 5, you can become the most important target in it, right? He's 100 gold away from Aghanims. However, in this particular match, you are playing versus Shadow Demon, and if you don't catch him in that, or if you don't follow up with Global Silence from Iceberg, it might not matter that much, as he has saves, and as levels go, he can have that talent as well. He can save multiple targets with disruptions, so it might not be as effective in some other games as in some other games.
It's what we mentioned, right? Shadow Demon, Winter Wyvern, there's these type of heroes that you need to find first before you begin these fights, or it becomes now impossible to use your combo effect. And now that he has the Lotus as well, Global Silence isn't good enough.
Yeah, I love the Silencer with the Force, with the Hex, with the Atos. A lot of damage, but still a glass cannon. Just dies super easily. Now that he has Blink Dagger, yeah. Blink is also pretty good on him. It allows you to reposition yourself versus the Tiny and the Slark. I think he needs as much mobility as he can get.
It's true. I was curious to see if he'd go for a BKB in this type of game. Just because the threat of the Mars jumping in and just instantly punishing you.
Eventually you can get it for sure. Eventually it is an item that he's thinking about. Perhaps it was better than Blink Dagger. Time will tell if that Blink Dagger pays off or not, but I can definitely understand the idea behind it. It's not bad, it's good. But there is an Aghanims now completed on the Slark too, and that's spooky.
Spooky, but you do have the power to kill him with that Blink into the Hex and the Global Silence. It's just about keeping the Shadow Demon away from him. But so far, Astral's been mirroring any movement that Slark makes to make sure he can save him.
Yeah, you can see that he's being the proper support. He's always right next to him. And this is where good communication comes in handy. Like, you just follow this position 1, and if anyone goes on him, you have this disruption to save him. After that, he can BKB and he's free. So, good.
Smoke top. Charge in. They see him, but the pounce gets him away. But the double pounce and into the glimpse. They were going to find him on the backline. Stackstorm's going to come up. He needs to get the Shadow Dance in time. They can't hit him up with the Never Strike, so he will get out. His Shadow Demon dies for the cause.
At least they didn't use the Global there, right? So that's something. Iceberg didn't use the Global. They used the Disruptor ulti with that Agnes, and they kill off the Shadow Demon, but they don't get the Slark. So.
Not the biggest kill in the world, but at the same time, they can get out, at least get some wards down and prep for potentially a fast roast spawn. You can already see Nemiga doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, they were choked out of farm. They were basically breathless, just on their high ground, on their side of the map, unable to move out, unable to check Rosh, unable to do anything. And this allows them to perhaps even take down the tier 1 on mid lane with those illusions from VTune.
Which is critical for the next Roche anyway, because otherwise Nemiga have all these TP points to easily reach the Roche fight after a buyback.
People like misunderstand this tier 1 a little bit as well around Roche pit. It's not only the TP that you get from it. It's the fact that you have many different ways that you can smoke around, right? If you're dire and you don't have that tier 1 taken on mid, there's basically 2 ways that you can smoke onto their shrine, and it's easy to set up against that and stand your ground. If you take down the tier 1, there's different plays you can make. There's different strategies you can do around that, around those tier 2s and the shrine on mid, both on Radiant and Dire.
It's always been that way, right? Like this kind of the tier 1 mid unlocks ganking potential. Basically, it allows you to move. It gives you the keys to the jungle, basically. Which is why it was rated so highly. Of course, with the introduction of the outposts, there has been a shift in priority early on, especially to look at the outer towers as opposed to the mid-tier 1 now. It looks like teams are mirroring each other's movements. Of course, this does benefit the side of Nemiga more being closer to that Roche pit.
It's usually it's usually where Radiant has an advantage, right? Because this is what happens. Dire goes into Radiant jungle, Radiant goes into Dire jungle. They mirror each other, but guess what? Radiant is closer to Roche, and because of that, they have this small advantage.
Yeah, they need to actually come up soon because Roche is going to spawn in 15 seconds, and the only people who have knowledge of this straight away is Nemiga.
Also, I like what they're doing, keeping that courier inside. I think every single team should do it from now on. There's no reason why a support, at least, shouldn't, or even a core, shouldn't put their courier inside when you know that Roche is about to spawn. There's that small little space in which you can put it so it doesn't get killed easily, but also it can scout all the time. And
also, I love the fact that the General took a Kobold when he didn't have an Alpha Wolf anymore. 12% movement speed on these type of heroes is quite significant, especially for someone like a Drow who needs the kite.
It's massive. That or the Wolf is pretty good. Wolf, probably what you want right now, but Kobold, it can come in handy. I like the Ursa too with the attack speed, it's not too bad.
Yeah, the attack speed is pretty nice. While Centaurs are great, they reach a point in the game where they're just not tanky enough anymore. So picking them up is just free gold to the enemy team.
They do understand that Roche is up, at least on the side of Nemiga, but FlyToMoon should know what's
happening. You have to
anticipate
it is up around now because it's been a while. FlyToMoon. The only reason they haven't barreled towards it is because Nemiga or at least been shown heroes in the lane that should be in the Roche pit, but now Nemiga might just go.
There's the BKB on Silencer, but they need to move right now. They shouldn't let this Roche go. Yeah. And they're moving into the Radiant jungle for some reason, or at least the river.
This is going to be too late.
If they just run straight here, it shouldn't be too late, but they are taking their time.
The bashes are being favorable for them right now. They need to hurry up. Moving in. BKB Chosen One gets in, though, with the arena. Now, Globuson's going to come out. Looks to turn around them right now. The Hex is there. Static Storm as well. Tiny's the target, but he's not the ideal one. Instead, on the back line, Disruptor's already been brought down. The split comes out from General to control him up, but Tiny's only on half HP so far. Buyback out from the Disruptor. V-Tune chased onto with the Shadow Dance. Will be brought down. Buyback out from Mars as well. And on the back line, they're trying to snipe out whatever they can, but the split is running out soon. They catch with an Iceberg as well. They're on top of him. He's dead for 85 seconds. Everyone on FlyToMoon just needs to abort and get out. Slayer won't die back. But you've lost two highly valuable cores, and as you mentioned, Liz, one of them does not have buyback.
Wait, both of them don't have buybacks, right?
Oh, you're right. That's even worse. This could actually just be game. They could just run down mid at this stage.
They don't have any creeps that are nearby, so most likely they will go straight into the pit first, finish that off, as Panda is also split pushing. Always want to fly split pushing bottom. Panda was around mid too, just trying to creep skip. General just doing this every time his team messes something up, he goes into creep skipping. But honestly, the way they fought that was terrible. If you're FlyToMoon, you need to understand that you have these glass cannons and you need to stay back on high ground. Most important for you is your positioning. If you're FlyToMoon, when you're playing with heroes such as Drow and Silencer versus something like a Slark or Tiny, positioning is the most important aspect of the game. Staying on any sort of a high ground versus them. Drow Ranger, what did she do? She forced herself straight into this Tiny and the Slark. Gets obliterated without any mobility afterwards because she already used her force. Silencer, same in the river. Yeah, just not really the best position to have in that particular fight.
Oh. All right, I always want to fly will be fine. They do get the tower and get out. I think you're right. It comes down to the fact that they're waiting around so long, they just almost panic run straight for it.
Exactly. Like
getting caught that close together.
For them, you see where Tiny and Shadow Demon are right now. For them, the perfect fight would be if they could fight around there somehow. Like poke into the pit and retreat to the stairs. Poke into the pit, retreat to the stairs. That would be the perfect positioning. But staying in the river just allows Nemiga to approach them from so many different directions that it was easy for Tiny to get hold of the Silencer, and same for the Slark with the Drow Ranger. And obviously Shadow Demon just saves that fight once again. There's Aghanims on Disruptor, but there's also disruption from Shadow Demon.
That's the big concern. Nemiga having these double saves all the while FlyToMoon, they're always in for a penny, in for a pound. They don't have a great way to retreat from these fights. They don't have any saves midway through them either.
Yeah. They get to Havoc Hammer.
Pretty good for the Spirit Breaker.
And Ninja Gear as well. On both sides they get Ninja Gear. Chosen one. Yeah.
Good peel to find. That is the enabler for Nemiga's fight. So the disruption is there again, and Astro is nowhere near danger.
He might go in.
Instead, the blink forward. Yep, Arena just always want to fly. Kinetic Field to try and split up the fight, but BKB chasing forward. They force the BKB out of Iceberg, who will TP out successfully, but they are one cow short of a full team.
Yeah. One poor cow, paid with his life once again. They call him
Or
Muha.
is appropriate as well.
They call him Muha in CIS, by the way. Always want to fly.
It's fitting, especially for this game.
Yeah.
But he's the cow on the farm that just isn't eating any grass at this stage. Poorest on the net worth chart, and Spirit Breaker just doesn't feel like a great hero in that sort of situation.
I believe Muha is also fly in Russian, so there's that. Oh, Slark gets pretty low. He might die here.
Good kill. Can they get the second time? They got the Static Storm. Easy. They need to save him right now, but Global Silence comes out. Cyclone as well. They need to actually try and get him out. They'll be able to on the side. They will lose Dazzle for it, but it looks like Nefrit might be able to escape. Chase forward. BKB comes out, ready to stand and fight. Has the Shadow Dance, 4 stuff. They're kiting him out. The split has been used. They need to reconnect with this kill. TP out by Always Want to Fly, but it looks like Nefrit may be too far away. The Lincoln's pop. He will pounce again, and this is why Slark Axe is so powerful.
That was Lincoln's from the Baraturm, right? He used the charge.
Yeah, from the charge.
Yeah. But that fight pretty much tells you why Shadow Demon is so important on the side of Nemiga. He wasn't there. That's why they pounced. They're not crazy to go low ground versus this team when they have Aegis. But they saw Shadow Demon defending bottom lane, and because of that, they instantly went on Slark. Shadow Demon has to be in position. He has to be close, nearby, so that he can save these targets with disruptions. If he isn't around...
Good from Dazzle to body himself like that to save him, though, because I don't think they had detection down, and that was the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
So Complicate worked.
I actually thought that he used his ulti there somehow, but it wasn't. Yeah, he actually got glimmered.
Exploits? How dare you? Yeah, that was just the... I mean, that's an odd mistake to see happen here. Like, you know the Glimmer Cape's in play. You know there's Invis threats. And...
That was a huge opportunity for them that they missed right now, and Nefrit might punish them.
Jump in straight away. The bash instantly starts the BKB. Needs to TP out. Nice save from Slayer. Stay in your little pen, boys.
Yeah, that was definitely a very good play by Disruptor.
Effort. Always Want to Fly. Don't worry. They've forgotten this as well. Although the pounce doesn't last long either because of the bulldoze.
Bulldoze just
I like how they think he's still there.
Yeah, just an amazing spell. He moves back, uses that bulldoze, not even leashed for... What? That stats resistance is just crazy.
Allows you to scale pretty effectively. V2 is still running around with smoke and ninja gear. Yeah, he's pinged it out. They know exactly where Astral is. They need to charge in, and here it comes. If they can pick this off, maybe. They do have the BKB on V2 before staff in. Gus comes out, and looks like the lowest. They've done it too soon. BKB from Chosen One, chase him. BKB from Nefrit as well. He's on the hunt, looking for the kill, and they'll find it. Iceberg pinned to the wall. No BKB for 10. He's just dead for 90. Does have buyback. Will commit straight away. Has the global stance to work with as well, but V2 is down also. Split will come out. General is commit.
Happy penguin right there. Some
mistakes.
Just
spam happy penguins. That's the only way to go right now. That is a completely wasted split and possibly the worst one of the tournament so far.
You can buy back on the draw ranger, but now you have to defend high ground somehow. Oh, all right, maybe you don't. They move back. They're happy with the force on the buyback, and they go for the tier 2 on the bottom lane. Actually, Iceberg bought back too, so you force 2 buybacks from both of their cores. You're satisfied with this if you're Nemiga.
Yeah, you know Roche isn't going to be up for a while. You don't have your BKBs right now, and the reason you're able to punish FlyToMoon like that is because they fought without BKBs.
There are just some Iceberg.
Oh no,
BKBs.
Iceberg. He has to fight. He has no way out. It's going to force staff to go for the TP out.
Sure.
Can they bash him? No, he will get out.
Unfortunately,
a little bit too close for comfort.
Unfortunately, they don't get that bash this time around. But Nefrit, man, he's so speedy, already hunting on the other side of the map, and that's what this Aghanims allows you to do. But FlyToMoon, man, they had a decent start, a good draft, but this draft is difficult to execute if you have a couple of mistakes. Like, you make a couple of mistakes and suddenly Slark and Tiny are all over you and you can't get out.
It is getting quite worrying. You have to wonder what is the item that brings you back. You got Shiva skewed up on Silence, so that's not really going to be a big deal. Maybe this Silver Edge, the V-Tune skewed up, allows you to just delete Chosen One at the beginning of a fight. But still, I don't know who's building an item to address Shadow Demon. I don't see anyone doing it.
You can't address him, really. You have to find some way to hex him and kill him off in that, but it's much easier said than done when you have Fervian lurking around as well with his Glimmer, with Greaves, with Shadow Wave.
Yeah, they've just got a lot of sustain, a lot of saves, and when you look on the side of FlyToMoon, you're like, okay, so where's the Lotus? Where are the 4-stars that we mentioned earlier? They're non-existent. You've got them on the cores with the 4-stars, but no one has a Lotus. Neither of the supports have 4-stars either.
Lotus, perhaps, on that Spirit Breaker would have been good, at least, but it isn't really truly a game-changing item for FlyToMoon. Doesn't help that much.
No.
It's all right, but it doesn't help too much.
It's a nice dispel. Like, there's some good things to dispel in this game, but that's about it.
If you're an Nemiga, it's an amazing item, but...
And instead, always want to fly his head for the Heaven's Halberd next, which will be very effective at this stage of the game against the Slark, against the Tiny that don't have these stats resistance builds.
Mellow Joel lurking around mid, yeah. Going for that crit next, it seems. He has Daedalus already, and he has Bloodthorn queued up. Interesting. There's a
little bit spooky, maybe a little bit overkill, but what? Just gives you more means to force early BKBs out of your opponents. And Smoke, as you said, from FlyToMoon, trying to keep control of this high ground, but Nefrit is walking in. They ping out.
They ping out and they know what's up. There is Chosen One on top lane, though. He's not nearby.
Oh, there it is. They pop the Lincolns. They've got the Static Storm. They'll drop it straight on top of the Global Science as well, but they're not doing the damage disruption save again. They still do not address the Shadow Demon. And instead, Mellow running at them, taking a lot of damage in return, does take the Disruptor down, dead for 110 seconds. Shallow Grave out, keeping Tiny alive, split commit as well, but Nefrit being completely ignored as they just try and kill off his entire team around him. Sansa trying to kite them out, just charge through to buy a little bit of time, but it's not good enough. The buyback comes out from Nemiga on Tiny and the Dazzle, but the hunt is on. Astro's brought down the side. The arena is going to be committed here, right on top of V2, who is forced to fight. The disarm is on him, so he can't even actually return fire at these targets. A lot of armor, but maybe not enough. Nefrit is getting extremely low. The big crits will bring him down. Drow, no! The crit coming out from the tree toss. Mellow now has to fight without a tree, though, as there's none nearby. But they don't have the damage anymore. The buyback comes out from Slark, as well as the Shadow Demon, as they realize they have exactly what they need to end the game.
Yeah, that's just game here. General has his buyback, so does the Disruptor, but your two big cores, Dawn, Silencer, and the Drow, and unless they're getting them soon, which let's check. Drow Ranger 3 minutes, Silencer 3 minutes, nope, not getting them anytime now. The Throne is being attacked right now, and it should be that, right? This should be the game.
Yeah, this is your last hurrah. You know, they don't have Arena at least. You got the Static Storm, but you don't have the heroes anymore. General is just dead. The Static Storm goes down, but they can just completely ignore it as they'll pounce in, kill off a few more targets, and it looks like Nemiga are going to take this to
GG.
a third game as we are now 1-1 on the score.
They call it. FlyToMoon, I think they drafted themselves into this. If you remember those games, OG Seed versus Singularity, I really said that OG Seed outdrafted and played better, but FlyToMoon, they picked something that they believed in, and they didn't really care about what Nemiga is doing, what Nemiga is drafting, right? They picked their Silencer plus Drow combo, they believed it was a decent plan with a Panda up front, right, to create that buffer zone between the enemy units and the Drow and the Silencer, but it's just so weak versus Slark and Tiny. Once they get on top of you, you're just done. And the difficulty with that lineup is, like, you can have a good start, but one single mistake and you're over.
No, it's true. Nemiga, they have this lineup that can keep retracting, and FlyToMoon have this all-in, all-for-nothing, or rather all-in, or you get nothing sort of lineup, right? When you look at the heroes, once they're in, they're completely committed. And as you said, it's a snowball lineup. When you have Silencer as a hero at the core of it, it's going to feel that way. And Brewmaster, you get to his late-game scenarios, yeah, he bounces back on the physical damage side of things, but if that's what you're drafting for, there are better offlaners.
I just have to say that Astral was just in position every single time, playing out of his mind, and I have to commend that guy. I'm looking forward to Game 3, hoping for the best from both of these teams so that we have a really exciting 3-game series. Well, that's going to come in a few minutes. See you after the break.